Hello guys, gals, and non-binary pals. Professor Sex here from my friends at Kink, and this is Kink Outside the Box, the sex ed show where we explore roleplay, fetish, kink, and much, much more. On today's episode, what is FemDom and why is it sexy? All right, so what is FemDom? FemDom, or female domination, is a BDSM behavior where a woman dominates her scene partner or partners. There are lots of names for female dominance. Dominatrix, madam, mistress, dom, much more. Some folks even like to come up with their own names, and some femdoms even like to use traditionally masculine honorifics like sir or master. Femdoms and their submissives can engage in any BDSM activities that feel right to them, but some of the behavior commonly associated with female domination or femdom are cock and ball torture, sissification or forced feminization of a masculine submissive, forced orgasm, forced chastity, erotic humiliation, and pegging. A femdom can be a femme person of any sexual orientation, or even a masc or masculine identifying person who taps into their femme side when in a dominant role. Because the nature of BDSM roleplay isn't inherently sexual, a femdom might choose a variety of submissives, regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity, and may or may not even ever have sex with them. Some femdoms play for personal pleasure, and some are professionals that can be hired to help satisfy your femdom fantasies. All right, so what makes female domination sexy? Ultimately, I suppose that's up to you, but let's unpack some of the reasons that, generally speaking, people find this to be a particular fetish. Female domination plays on the eroticism of the taboo. A taboo is a social prohibition on a specific behavior. Social scripts around gender roles often put men and masculinity in roles of power and dominance. Sexual power is often about male or masculine pleasure. Widely accessible porn is typically created for a straight male audience, while erotic content for women and queer folks is considered subcategories of the defaults. Traditional sex education, you know what you got in your health class, prominently features discussions of penis ejaculation, male masturbation, external condom use, but rarely acknowledges female pleasure or talks at all about issues that affect bodies with vulvas, vaginas, and femme folks. Femdom play turns that whole power structure on its head, which is why we often see female domination depicted as a woman or femme person dominating a man or masculine person in sexually humiliating and emasculating ways. Taboo sexual play is thrilling because it challenges social convention and defies social norms. It also gives players permission to act out in ways that are a break from their usual identities. For the dominant, she gets to take power in ways that her real life may not allow for. She not only gets to own her own sexual pleasure, she gets to own the sexual pleasure of her submissive and dictate the intimate and sexual behaviors they engage in. Her submissive is at her mercy in ways that folks in her real life may never be. For the submissive, they get to shed the social pressure of being in charge and let go. Putting their faith in someone else at this level is an act of physical and emotional intimacy that their day-to-day life may not give them the chance to do. All the players get to freely explore new and exciting roles in a freeing, judgment-free space that they've created together. That kind of freedom and exploration is super sexy. All right, exploring femdom. So how do you get started? Negotiating BDSM can be just as sexy as playing in the scene itself. You're sharing fantasies and brainstorming experiences that build sexual tension and anticipate.
Wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Wait for it. Patience.
Sexual boundary setting before you play can give you a chance to get into your dominant and submissive roles before you ever hit the scene. If you're the dom, consider the ways you'd like to see a submissive give up power to you. Maybe you'd like to start with some orgasm play, deny or force their orgasm to feel deeply in control of their sexuality in a tangible way. Or start more simply by asking them to perform small tasks for you. Spice that up by having them wear a sexy or erotically humiliating piece of clothing, a discreet sex toy like nipple clamps or a butt plug, while they do their chores for you. If you're not sure where to start at all, you can ask your submissive to write a wish list for you. Have them list all the things they hope you'll do to them, or they hope they can do for you. Ask them to include things they're willing to do but may not particularly enjoy, and things they know are totally off limits. Sometimes we don't know we have a boundary until it's been crossed, but this is a great starting point for what we are aware of about ourselves and others. This is called a yes, no, maybe list. These lists are great starting points for negotiation. Think of them like a menu you get to choose from as the dominant. If punishment is part of your play, include that in your pre-scene planning. Also, don't forget to consider language that you like or don't like pet names and names for your body parts. There's nothing that can kill a sexy moment quite like hearing a word that makes you cringe. On the flip side, sexy talk can be as orgasmic as sexy touch when done skillfully. Finally, break out the toy box and get creative. Kink outside the toy box a little and come up with ways to play that go beyond the traditional uses for the toy, although remember safety first. For example, nipple clamps on labia or scrotum can really take sensation and impact play to a new level. However you get started, consent is the most important thing. Everything else is up to you and your submissives. On that note, that's been this episode of Kink Outside the Box. For more from me, head to ProfessorSex.com. For more from Kink Crate or to sign up, head to kinkcrate.com.